you are watching this video, it is because it was made for you. God wants you to know that you are right where you are meant to be. You haven't made any wrong steps. You are not being punished. You are being directed to what is more like you and what is more for you.
We're not lost. We're exactly where we're supposed to be, but even something better. Think about this. Have you ever thought about when you go to like an amusement park and you enter the corn maze or the house of mirrors, you actually relish in the fact that you just don't know how to get out or where to go. You're on a treasure hunt. Now imagine that attitude, that joy, that playfulness. If we could take that same frequency, energy, and apply it to our life when we feel lost. Because most times when we're lost, what do? We freak out. We lose gratitude. We're wrestling with life, searching for clarity, not realizing a breakthrough will come. Just like when you're in a corn maze, what happens? A breakthrough always comes. You always find your way out.
I was listening to this video by Heinz, and it completely resonated with the season that I'm currently in. I wanted to share my journey of being lost and the beauty that I found within it, and 4 takeaways that will help you find the beauty in your journey. In order for us to find something, it has to be lost to us, or it has to be in a place that we were not expecting it to be in. And it just made me feel like it's not necessarily that the item or whatever it is that we're looking for is quote unquote lost. I think a lot of times we are distracted where we are unable to see it, or we're blinded to being able to see it. And something that also kind of helped me with the confirmation of even making this video is I was watching Moana 2 yesterday, and something that caught my attention was when the bat lady, and if you haven't seen Moana 2, I am so sorry because this is like a tad bit of a spoiler, but not all the way. But the bat lady basically tells her to, like, the point of being a wayfinder is to find the way. Like, you're finding the way, which means you don't always know which way to go. That's the beauty in finding it. So she was basically, and she did tell her, get lost.
There's always another way, Moana. What are you gonna do?
And it's like, oh God, that is just such confirmation on this Heinz video that I watched, and the notes that I had taken to share with you all with this video. And I'm like, okay, God, okay, I see the confirmation there. And then this morning I was on Facebook and I saw this analogy about, if you have ever seen the Ray Charles movie with Jamie Foxx, when he first goes blind, because at one point he was able to see, and then as a little boy he falls into like this boiling water, or maybe it's not boiling water. He falls into this water, and I don't know why or what's in it, but because it's been a long time since I've seen the movie, but there's something in there that causes him to go blind. And so he's in the kitchen with his mom. He's now blind, and his mom is standing in the corner, and like he gets frustrated and he starts calling out to her to help guide him, and you can tell it's breaking her heart not to respond, but she's quiet, just watching him. And he has this moment where it just clicks. I gotta stop crying out. I just need to stop and listen and let my ears become my eyes and find my way around this kitchen just by listening. And so the analogy that the guy used in that post was, that is what God is like in our lives. At times when we feel like God is being silent, or, God is nowhere near or around, it's not that he's not near or he's around. He just is trying to get us to dig deep and bring up out of us what he placed in us and that he knows we are capable of. But if he always responded every time we called out to him, we would never find what we're meant to find within ourselves, and we would then use God as a crutch. And so I just thought that also was like another really great confirmation and analogy of this whole idea of being lost and the beauty of being lost. You're not lost. It may seem as if you're lost, but there is a way out. You just have to get silent. You have to pause. You have to listen. You have to just have a deeper level of gratitude for your moment. You may even have to change perspectives, because more than likely you're looking at your circumstances and you're now in a wrong perspective.
Yes, I am. Why are you crying, Mama? Because I'm happy.
And I know it's very hard to do. When I left my 9 to 5, I just knew God was going to take me in this certain direction. And y'all, he didn't take me anywhere where I thought he was going to take me. And after 18 months of being unemployed, I finally stopped and said, you know what? It's been 18 months and I haven't had a job yet. I'm still here, yet I still have eaten, yet I still have, had everything that I need and needed when I needed it. In these 18 months of me not having a job, and even in those 18 months of not having a job, most of those months I didn't even receive any money or any income, but God knew who to send and when to send them. And so every need that popped up when I needed it, it was taken care of and it was met. And so it made me realize, what could I have accomplished in these past 18 months had I not been so fixated on the rug being pulled from up under me? If I wasn't so fixated by all of the what ifs that were popping into my mind of what could possibly happen or what my future was going to look like, because I guarantee you, what you're thinking is going to happen, or what you're picturing is going to be your future, maybe next week, next month, I guarantee you it's not going to look anything at all as you expected. And that is a beautiful thing if you let it be. That's why I loved Heinz corn maze analogy so much, because if you do find the beauty in being lost, there's so much you will learn and so much you enjoy, even though it doesn't look ideal around you, or there's a little bit of anxiety because you don't know what's in front of you, you don't know what's around the corner. But if you just stay open and receptive to the fact and the knowing that no matter what happens, God has already determined my end. He already has a purpose for me, and it is a purpose for my good and an expected end. So even though I don't know what's about to happen, who's about to come from behind this corner, or who I'm going to meet, it's all going to work out. So as long as you stay in that quiet, still place of peace and knowing that God got me, it's so beautiful when you stop and pause and you look at all that God has done for you.
So start asking this question. What is this moment teaching me? And know that the answer may not reveal itself right away. You're going on a treasure hunt. But you set the intention. Intention is so important, isn't it? Sometimes life's clues, they are not loud. They are whispered in the stillness. So listen closely. You may have to mute social media for a while.
You get tired of the scrolling and the mindless just feeling of time and worrying about what's going to happen, when it's going to happen. When you get to that place, this is when transformation can actually begin, because you're at a place now where you're able to be self-aware and you can take into account all that you've been thinking about, all that you've been doing, all that hasn't happened, all that has happened. And it's a good place for you to actually stop and ask yourself, where is it that I want to go? What is it that I want to do? So this is some homework I want you to do. And please, if you need to pause this video to go grab a paper and pen, or if you need to jot this down in your notes app, please do it, because I do want you to do this homework, because I promise you it is going to help you. So question number one I want you to answer for yourself is, if miraculously tomorrow it could happen, what is it that you would want to be doing? Get as detailed as possible, whether that is like what you're eating, what you're wearing, what you smell like, what the weather is like, what you're driving, where you live. Like, get very detailed. If miraculously whatever you wrote down on this piece of paper that could happen tomorrow would happen, what is it that you would want? What would you want that to look like? After you have figured out that answer, then I want you to pull from that list, what is it that you could do today with where you're at right now? And it may not look as grand as what you have written down. So say you want to have a 6-pack abs, and right now you got a little bit of a beer belly going on. It would be unrealistic to think that tomorrow you could magically get this 6-pack abs. But what you could do is, all right, maybe I can start walking, or maybe I can start working out 15 minutes a day. Maybe I can start drinking more water. What is it that you can do today that will get you closer to that ideal life that you have pictured for yourself, that you would want for yourself? What small thing can you do today to make it happen? Because not all the time we have the finances or we have the resources to achieve what it is that we want, or to get what it is that we want, but we can take small steps daily to get closer and closer to making that a reality. So if you do not have access to a gym, work out at home. If you don't have the finances to buy workout equipment and workout outfit, throw on the clothes that you got and go for a walk around the house, go a walk around your neighborhood. If you feel like you're in a neighborhood that's unsafe, maybe you can start doing home workouts where you're just using your body weight. You can get started. I guarantee you there is something that you can do today that will get you closer to whatever it is that you put on that list. When you get lost, it is easier to realize and recognize what is and what isn't you, because there are no distractions around you, or you don't have many distractions around you anymore. Number 2 was gratitude. I had to be thankful that although my life didn't look anything at all how I wanted it to look, I was thankful that it didn't look like how it did before. Because before, I was tired all the time. I didn't have any time for my children, really. My hair was falling out. My skin was super bad. It's still healing. It's in a good process, but like, my hair is the healthiest it's been. And I had to be thankful and grateful and recognize that, sometimes what it is that we have around us that we should be thankful for doesn't cost a thing. It's something that we couldn't even buy ourselves if we wanted to. You can't buy yourself a head full of hair. Yes, you can get like the hair plugs and all that other stuff, but you don't have the control over the health of it if you don't keep up with it. So I had to be thankful and grateful for where I was in life, and for the things that I actually still did have, the things that I had gained, and the things that I had lost that was no longer a part of my identity. So next thing I want you to do is to write down what you are thankful for. Look around, look at what your life was like previously or before this season and where it is now. And sometimes it's easier for us to focus on what we have lost in a negative sense, but sometimes what we have lost, we needed to lose it. It's for our good. So what are you thankful for? When you are lost, you have the freedom to really reflect on where your life has taken you and to now go in a new direction if that is what you choose to do. Something that I think keeps us stuck or feeling lost within the maze is fear. Fear of who we can be, fear of possibly getting lost again, fear of not trusting yourself to make the right choices and the right decisions. Sometimes it's the fear of even succeeding. We have so much fear on being our true authentic selves and trusting that, you know, if God brought this dream to me, it's because he knows I can fulfill it, I can reach it. And if God brought it to me, that means I can get to it and it is for me. And sometimes we get so caught up in what we look like when we're trying to get to said dream that God has given us. And none of that matters. If you are being authentic to you and you are following the footsteps that you believe are God's footsteps, then there are no wrong turns you can make. There is nothing that you can do that's going to get you lost where you don't end up where you're supposed to go. God has put in place so many parameters that even when we're going in the wrong direction, there's something to still guide us back to where we're supposed to be. And sometimes when we go in that wrong direction, we meet a dead end and we say, okay, this wasn't the way to go. Let me turn back around. Now I know not to go down that road. So I think we do ourselves a disservice when we do not trust in ourselves. I think sometimes we trust in God and then we forget to also trust in ourselves. So my homework for you is to write affirmations for yourself that embody the life that you want to live. So if you envision yourself being a multimillionaire, write, I am a multimillionaire, and go over that list of affirmations as many times as you can. Something that has helped me is actually recording a video where I'm speaking out my affirmations and then just playing it in the morning for myself. So then that way it doesn't feel as hard to do, or it's like, all right, now I gotta go find this notebook and where I wrote these affirmations. An easy way to do it is just voice record or do a video of you speaking those affirmations and listen to that every day. It needs to be in your own words though. It needs to be your own voice so that you can get that locked in. But I promise you, it will transform the way that you think about yourself and the way that you move about your day. You are not lost because you made the wrong decision. You are being directed in a new direction and possibly failing to look at it from the right perspective. There are no mistakes in life, only lessons. So if there is something that you have lost, if there is something that you no longer have in your life right now, it's because you didn't need it anymore. It's because God wants you to do a new thing. So dig deep, figure out what it is that you really, really want in life and what it is that you can do today that will get you closer to that dream and that reality. And have faith that you will make it. Your job is not to figure out the how. That's not your job. Your job is to have faith and know that God will make it all make sense in the end.
I am not lost. I am uncovering. Maybe you write that down. I am not lost. I am uncovering my path, illuminating the path. There's a new way, a new experience, a new way to be for me. Oh my God, how exciting is that? Isn't that exciting? That life's not going to be the same how it was. You're leaving your old ways. You're going into a completely new space and there are clues everywhere. and learning how to see the signs and the patterns of life, man, that strengthens your intuition. I believe life is always offering us little breadcrumbs and conversations and our failures and nature and our prayers and silence. And sometimes the clues aren't obvious. So it requires patience and reflection and trust. You've been a little lost, but now it's a season where you have to reflect. You need more patience. You need more trust. You need to craft more trust with yourself that you will find your way.
So put out your intentions and follow through with what it is that you said you were going to do. And God will take care of the rest. In the meantime, in between time, let's continue to prosper properly as His property. Prospering property.